So that's 4 nerf heroes. Was Bruno nerfed?
No,
Okay, Bruno is not nerfed, but
hasn't
3
been
out of
changed,
4 of them has been nerfed.
The Beatrix, I feel like, was fine, but I just don't know if it's Cammy's type of hero, because Cammy so far uses a lot of magic-based heroes. Has been using the Natan a lot, has been using the Harriv and such. So his Beatrix is okay, but maybe if you still want that late game, maybe consider the Natan, something that you're a little bit more comfortable with.
It's a topic that we kind of brought up. We touched on just a bit in the pre-game, right? Like, does late game hero feel as good now that games end average faster? I know his preference is more towards mage and late game scaling heroes. Beatrix feels like a good balance in between, right?
Yeah.
Early to mid doesn't feel bad. Late game, absolute monster. It should be an Aurora pick for Nightmare. There's not really much choice left. The Kaja doesn't look too bad, honestly, even though there are Aurora and Cho.
I mean, here's the thing. The rules of using a cash composition is who gets there first. If the Cho kicks me, good game, I lose. If I catch Cho first, good game, I win. Do they want to play that game? If they don't want to play that game, they can go for something simple like a high loss. I was talking about the Edith. The Edith still works fine here. There's a lot of options for sure.
Actually, I'm digging the high loss, right? You have a guaranteed stun with the Law and Order. It's great against the 3 front lines of Nightmare Esports. It enables the Phoebus so much more as well. Do they want to play that ego game? Let's see. For PCU. Yep. Wow, good call.
Yeah. Hyla's been picked up here so far for both teams. A very solid composition here, not seeing a lot of mistakes. It really is just about the execution, where Nightmare, this time with the Cho, they can start forcing a few more fights.
I'm not crazy, right? All 5 heroes.
You're not crazy.
I remember that something I was up with Bruno, but I just can't put my finger on it. So all 5 of them were nerfed. Hey, yo.
Even if it's nerf, it's super strong. Technically Husky, we can say everyone got nerfed because of the HP decrease.
Yeah, except for Marksman though. Marksman has always been that solid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, nerf is just a perspective. I mean, for high loss, it was banned in game 1.
It's all about mindset, Husky.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
You could say, like, the weaker you make my hero, the stronger I become. And now, speaking of becoming stronger, game number 2 between Nightmare against Dianfengyaoguai right now. Match point for DFYG. Can Nightmare equalize? Can they win this one? And then push us to game number 3. Welcome to the Land of Dawn.
I feel like we are already at the cusp of a fraction of history being made for the Chinese region, just because Dianfengyaoguai might just get the first series win for the region overall on the international stage. We've seen game wins from KVG, but never a series in a 2-0 fashion against a team like Nightmare that's so decorated. That already feels like a big improvement from last time.
Yeah, now we can see KLVJ. This time we're actually looking at the laning phase, and he definitely has a better trade going up against the Khalid. The only thing is that the Khalid can heal up, so it's not that punishing.
I'm also looking at how much impact Jasmine has, right? Like, you're getting controlled so much, and it's so hard to walk up. If PCU had that Law and Order at level 2, that would potentially be a dead show. Forced to recall this early doesn't feel good at all.
Something to look at, actually. Nightmare Esports, 4 out of 5 members actually have Thrill in their emblem setup. So it does look like they want to be more aggressive in the early game. They want to make sure that they have a lot of base damage.
They know what to say. Damage is king, right? That extra 18 adaptive damage at level 1. Oh, sweet numbers.
Yeah, and again, KLVJ, look at how he's moving around Opera. He's cutting the path. He knows where Opera is going to move, and he's like, I'm going to make sure I'm here first. You can't move forward. KLVJ is doing an amazing job as an EXP laner to make sure that one of the benefits of a Khalid is not being used.
You go up against the Kings, you best not miss KLVJ. Like you said, literally a brick wall. Like, it's very rare that you see Khalid getting kind of stumped in this position. The Phobius gets to move first. That does not feel good.
Oh, yeah. Different rotation here. Looks like the roamer as well as the EXP actually absorbs the mid lane. So does this mean that Yuan wants that EXP?
Oh, KLVJ is going to be 4 red 3, 5 goals, too easy for Lexi. Will find the turtle. Avengers will not help KLVJ. First blood for Nightmare.
I don't know whether it was intended or not, but Yuan wasn't level 4, which I feel like the EXP lane was open for him to absorb that minion wave. And again, I don't know if that's part of the plan, but I would imagine that they wanted Yuan to get that level 4 first in the EXP, and then join the fight around Turtle.
I agree. I think having the Eternal Guard is so much more valuable than maybe PCU getting that level 4 with the Glorious Pathway. It doesn't change much and doesn't help when Jasmine basically zone out the Vexana from the fight. So now they get to kind of put that pressure on the top side. Get to freeze the turret a little bit. Long still taking that fight. Jasmine spotted out by PCU. Mid side, Yi1 getting gone on Eternal Guard drop. Jasmine even flickers but couldn't find the kick as Yi1 traced his.
Definitely a big change here where Nightmare Esports has more control around the map. They have more tempo, and the change of having this Cho really makes it very, very impressive. And again, something that we might be able to study after this is the emblem setup. Everyone, I believe except Soso, has that thrill. So Cammy has early damage, Jasmine has early damage, Too Easy for Lexi has early damage, Opper as well has early damage, even though he's not able to utilize it going up against KLVJ. But so far, the strat looks good.
Yeah. And thankfully with Jasmine and Soso, they get to kind of negate the disadvantage that that Oppa has to kind of suffer in that early game, right? They're continuing to put pressure onto Long. It's not like PCU is on a Kaja, right? So now diving feels a bit better. And here comes 4-man dive, rating Sandstorm Flicker into a kick. Purify gets used by Long, but the damage is just too much. Jasmine finds the takedown.
Yeah, not much that PCU can really do. Nightmare already starting off very, very good. The fact that Cammy is able to clear the wave that fast, now Cammy can join the turtle fight. So Dianfengyaoguai, no matter what, is going to be a 5-man fight from Nightmare. Nightmare should be the ones to really control this this neutral objective. And now even Too Easy for Lexi has the War Axe.
And you see the difference between the Suyo and the Nolan, right? The burst from Suyo just not as much early on. They find the Terrify, KLVJ to the back, Retribution War. Again, not even close. Too Easy for Lexi finds the objective. Zed gets out, but Cellcade goes down again.
Good idea coming in from KLVJ, but Jasmine, he went to the back line making sure that no follow-up is going to be there.
Yeah.
We see the idea here from KLVJ is like, okay, we might not be able to get this turtle, but maybe we can get a kill.
Without the Eve, it is very different, right? Vexana, you use that Terrify or Eternal Guard, that utility goes right out the window. You have such a long cooldown in these early stage. So the control area of control for Dianfengyaoguai definitely not as much as game 1.
Yeah, and I like what you brought up. Not having the Eve here, that also might be the big difference maker for Dianfengyaoguai. Vexana is good, but it's definitely not a replacement for an Eve.
Yeah, it's kind of like a budget Eve. I would even say Aurora kind of feels slightly better in certain regards, right? If you have a Cho that's running at you, I definitely feel like Aurora makes a bit more difference. They drop the Eternal Guard onto Jasmine, who is just soaking it up. KLVJ blocking out Yi1. He doesn't have... Oh, he has to use Flicker, actually, to get out of that. That would have been pretty deadly. Commit the full combo onto KLVJ. Not getting much. Jasmine goes in, looks for the knockout. Jikundo gets it. KLVJ re-engages. PCU Law and Order. The verdict being Jasmine's demise. KLVJ pulls vengeance, but the damage from Cammy gives him a double kill.
Yeah, and this is where we see the priority lies with Cammy. Cammy was all alone in the bottom lane, Husky. He could have stayed there. He could have for sure grabbed that objective. But this is the teamwork of Nightmare Esports. He rotated mid, get those kills, and able to get the mid lane. And now he might even get this bottom lane as well.
It feels so much better. It feels so good when your roamer is able to set up
and
tank damage, not like a Matilda that just gets blown up in an instant. Too Easy for Lexi is one level ahead. Oppa now gets the pressure along. Obviously not much, right? This Bruno still hurts like a truck. Has to be very careful with how he moves. And with this Bruno out of commission for now, Nightmare Esports gets to move around a lot more.
By the way, can I just shout out the... Right now we have the trophy in the Land of Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Right, when Bruno was fighting against Opper, I saw that at the side. Oh, hold on. PCU taking a lot of damage.
It's a good Law and Order to stop the kick. Jasmine out of position. This KLVJ takes him out. Opper from the corner. Yeah, Long is almost walked out to it. Opper will just go on to him. Long will fight back, uses the Wordy, but keeps his Purify. So it's not that bad for Dianfengyaoguai.
Looks like the idea for both EXP laners, KLVJ as well as Opper, is just like man-to-man defense. Don't let whoever you're assigned to move around the map. KLVJ stop Opper, and this time Opper is going to stop Long. He's going to make sure that Opper will die, but Long is nowhere near the fight.
I would argue stopping the show is so much important. Too Easy for Lexi gets the third turtle again. And KLVJ, he's so deep in the Revitalize, not in range to save him. So Cammy on the killing spree.
All the while, Opper was on to Yi1. Yi1 was not a part of that fight just because Opper was able to find him in the backline and then push him away. And Yi1, his playstyle is very, very safe. He's going to make sure that he doesn't die. And Opper exploited that.
I think that the downside right now, or at least how Dianfengyaoguai has been playing, there's no one to peel for E1. It's not like game 1 where you have a Kaja, we have a Phoveus that can focus on the back. They get a 3-man knockout with Eternal Guard. That is huge. But where's the damage? Jasmine finds the kick into the wall though, so got a flicker to get away. A disengage coming out from Nightmare on the top side. But going back to what I was saying, your Roma, the high loss, he's so focused on trying to dive with KelVJ that E1 has to fend for himself, and it's never gonna feel good.
Right now, Zed going up against Opper. Opper taking quite a bit of damage, but again, Opper is building defense, so this should not be a problem for him. Looking at the itemization here, Opper, even though only has the Thunder Belt, by this time he should be able to have maybe 7 or 8 stacks. So he has quite a bit of defense here. Other itemizations as well, we can already see that Cammy, 8 minutes in, already having 2 items, the Blade of Despair as well as the Malefic Gun, compared to the Bruno also having 2 items, the Hot Claw as well as the Berserker Fury. The damage is there, the range is not there for the Bruno just yet.
Part of me feels like Dianfengyaoguai might need to change the approach to the fight a little bit. Instead of trying to dive the backline and lock them out, you might want to consider peeling for both Long and Yi1. Like, if you stop Jasmine, there is going to be Alpha, right? So there's more than one target that is going to constantly threaten this Vexan that's so important to your team fight. They're going to jump onto So. Jasmine from the back. PC will eat all of it up. KelVJ finds the mid laner, but unfortunately, no kills just yet. Long onto Jasmine, who will use the shot fall away. KelVJ finds the kill onto So. Long now threatened, but PC will just use his body to block it up. Jasmine tries to go for the kick onto Yi1, but Long is saved, and this time, KelVJ is able to stall out the fight.
Dude, it was good by Yi1 as well. As long, did you see how they managed all this dive coming in from Nightmare?
Yeah.
Jasmine tried to kick them.
That's exactly what you need to do, right? Peel for the backline, stop the dive. The difference is there. Flicker into Raging Sandstorm. Long is now the target. Tries to heal up with the Heart's Claw. It's still a 1-for-1 trade. Can they take this Lord though? Too easy for Lexi. He has Cammy with him, but he's so low. An attempted steal, not done. Zed will not win that Nightmare with Lord.
Cammy this time is having a much better game. 4-0-3. Damage dealt. Yi1 still at the top. Surprisingly, 33,000 damage dealt. Even though Yi1, more often than not, gets zoned out quite far away from the team fight. So Yi1, if he has a good setup.
Oh yeah.
If Yi1 and Lung is not touched, it's going to be good for Dianfengyaoguai. Right now, let's look at the instant replay here, even though it looks like a fight is about to start. But look at Yi1. He saw that Jasmine wanted to go for him, so he was able to control him first. And that's the big difference. If Jasmine instantly gets the Vexana, probably a different fight.
I would say the focus right now is who can peel for the backline better, right? Like that fight, no one was peeling KelVJ off the rest of Nightmare's backline. That's why he's just jumping around with the Infernal Pursuit. Jasmine, flicker kick onto P. Still, they just burst him. This high loss, not part of the fight anymore. The Lord still coming in from the bot side. Dianfengyaoguai will have to wait for 20 seconds.
Feels good. Feels good for a Nightmare there, where when you get a high loss and you can burst him down that fast, it gives you this confidence that you can fight against anyone. But at this point, Nightmare, they probably just want that holy defense, and they got it, and now they should retreat.
So the good news for Dianfengyaoguai is that they keep inhibitors alive. They are almost 7k behind. Another thing is, Long, he needs that Malefic Gun as soon as possible. We see the difference that it doesn't feel good, like you pointed out, if you take Purify on Bruno, but it's a necessity in this game. But without the flicker, oh boy, any Raging Sandstorm flicker from Oppa is gonna clip him. And he needs that Malefic Gun. He needs it so fast, but he's so far from it. Oh wow, he just got it. Wow, not as far as I thought.
Right now, the Wind of Nature coming in from Cammy is gonna make it much more difficult for Zed and Long to actually get that kill. So this is a very big difference. Yeah. Over 2,000 difference between Cammy and Long. Even if Long gets free hit over to Cammy, which, judging by the range of the Beatrix, will be very rare to happen, he has to be careful. If he just tunnel visions and just basic attacks all the way and not notice that Wind of Nature, that could be the game-ending fight for Dianfengyaoguai.
How fast can you force it out is also a question. It spells a bit of problem for KelVJ because you dive onto Cammy, but we saw the impact of Nightmare Esports burst damage, right? You get caught once and you just disappear thanks to Banner's Rage. You even get the Demon Hunter Sword, so good luck being a tank if you are Dianfengyaoguai.
Right now, I'm just looking at how they're going to win this one. But Nightmare so far, Husky has been playing very clean. Almost 7,000 gold advantage. Cammy hasn't died at all. And too easy for Lexi this time. He's able to start the fight. It's amazing. But able to peel for his backline as well. This is a different Nightmare Esports from game number 1.
Yeah, when you don't have to constantly be the first one to go in, it always feels good. Jasmine wants to look for the kick, couldn't find it, but it's good enough for the team to get the Lord. And now Nightmare Esports have an angle to go in. E1, he is so split up. Flickers away to get to safety. The freeze from So takes out E1. And Dianfengyaoguai on the run. Kel VJ with the vengeance to the back. Can't even get Jasmine. That's unstoppable for too easy for Lexi. 3 kills for Nightmare.
Yeah, right now, Dianfengyaoguai, it's hard to say this, but they already got to think about game number 3 because Nightmare Esports is almost 10,000 gold ahead. And against a Beatrix, one of the best scalers in the game, this is not what you want to see. And now it looks like they want to go in mid.
Maybe one last chance for Dianfengyaoguai, but can they hold on for 5 seconds? So Pisil will use the Glorious Power to slow down the minion wave and keep himself alive. But Cammy almost finding it. Jasmine just flickers for it. Get rid of the front line, finds the kick on the E1. Jasmine sets it up. And Long will have to back off. 2 inhibitors down, but bottom one will fall thanks to the Lord. And Nightmare Esports showing their true form awaken after game number 1. Dianfengyaoguai will put up a final defense, but it is futile as Laos will continue this run in the first BO3. We find the equalizer.
The moment the kick connects on the Vexada Husky, that's game over. Your wave clearer is done. It's out of the picture. They can end the game, and that's what they did. This time, with the Cho, they have a much more confident draft.
Yeah, we saw just the most minuscule of differences. Cho